Hi, I'm Thomas, and I'm happy to present to you our paper about engaging in governing strategies. This research is the result of a collaborative effort between me and my amazing co-authors Gian-Luca Savino, Doyle, Benjamin Cowan, and my supervisor Malaka. But before we begin, I would like to explain what dog patterns actually are. And for this, I borrowed an example from Gray et al.'s 2018 work showing a nagging behavior from Instagram that basically prompts its users repeatedly to turn on their notifications. However, there's no real option to permanently dismiss this message. Capturing the essence of dog patterns very well, Latour et al. Gave a definition that I've been using throughout my work. They describe them as interface design choices that benefit an online service by coercing, steering, or deceiving users into making decisions that, if fully informed and capable of selecting alternatives, they won't make. After more than a decade of research on the topic, related work has produced a growing taxonomy. Dark patterns have been described for specific domains such as e-commerce, games, privacy-related, but also include proxemic theory. In contrast to these domain-specific dark patterns, others were defined in more general terms along broad application. And while work increases with regards to social networking services, we are still missing the same understanding that we have in other domains. And the main difference here is that social media require the users to be satisfied in return, perhaps similar to free-to-play games. Moreover, with a switch of a taxonomy as the one present here, it is both timely and relevant to apply this knowledge outside their original contexts and to understand their utility to identify dark patterns in other domains as well, while extending the corpus without any redundancies. In this work, we address these gaps for answering the following two research questions. What types of dark patterns are currently used in the four social networking sites Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter? And do they contain any dark patterns that are currently unique to their domain? To answer these research questions, we designed a walkthrough study for the four social media platforms, including Think Aloud protocols. And for reviewers, we recruited 6 researchers in total. The decision fell on HCI researchers, as prior work has repeatedly shown that regular users have difficulties detecting dark patterns. The expertise of HCI researchers in UI best practices offers an anchor that shields them from falling victim to the same design strategies and makes them more sensitive towards them, enabling them to discuss them thoroughly in their Think Aloud protocols. In total, we recruited 3 females and 3 males with mean experiences of 3.8 years and backgrounds in cognitive science, computer science, and media science. The procedure was as follows. Each of the reviewers would receive a 1-hour introduction to the current dark pattern literature. They were then assigned 2 of the SNS at random, while the order in which they would conduct the experiments was counterbalanced to ensure that each sequential implementation was done. For each of the SNS, they did 10 tasks and the Think Aloud protocol. The 10 tasks were designed to completely utilize the features of each of the SNS, including creating an account, sharing content, following people, and deleting the account in the end. These 10 tasks would be completed on both an iOS and Android device to account for any operating system specific differences. Once they finished with the first SNS, they would continue with the second, completing the same 10 tasks and the Think Aloud protocol. And once they were completed with this as well, they would return their phones to us where we retrieve the data. Each social networking service was thus used for an average of 247 minutes. To analyze the data, we conducted a thematic analysis. Here we decided to use both an inductive and a deductive approach to answer our research questions. The deductive codebook consisted of 80 codes from 8 different works, where each code represented a dark pattern and its definition. This allowed us to understand which dark patterns that were already described occur in the SNS. For the inductive codebook, we followed Brown et al.'s reflexive thematic analysis approach, where 2 coders analyzed and coded 3 walkthroughs and discussed their findings in an iterative process in between to align their findings and find agreement. Following this methodology, we finalized this inductive codebook with 22 codes. This allowed us to learn about domain-specific dark patterns in social networking services, answering our second research question. During the coding, both codebooks were used together while analyzing the iOS and Android versions simultaneously. This helped us to notice existing dark patterns in the interfaces and avoid redundancies. Learning from the deductive codes, the aim here was not to develop highly specific descriptions, but rather identify general problems that could potentially be translated to other SNS or even other domains. Based on the deductive coding, we're able to answer our first research question about the existing dark patterns that occur in SNS. Interestingly, this data also informed us about which dark patterns are better applicable outside original scopes. For example, als gaming dark patterns were tailored so closely around the concept of gaming that it prohibited us from applying them in the context of SNS. In contrast, the more generally defined dark patterns were gray et al. Allowed us to easily apply them during the study. Regarding the inductive coding results, we were able to answer a second research question to describe domain-specific dark patterns as well. We identified interactions that keep users engaged and govern over their actions while keeping them satisfied. In total, we identified 5 SNS-specific dark patterns under 2 broader strategies. On the one side, we have the engaging strategies that cover dark patterns where the goal is to keep users occupied and entertained for as long as possible. This includes the interactive hook and the social brokering dark patterns. On the other side, we have the governing strategies, which describe interface designs that navigate users' decision-making towards the designers and/or platform providers' goals. This includes the decision uncertainty, labyrinthine navigation, and redirective condition dark patterns. As a last step to place our work in the ongoing discourse, we assigned our dark patterns to the 6 characteristics proposed by Mature et al. We hope that this will enable future work to utilize all dark patterns and the strategies to work in and outside their scope. In conclusion, we identified instances of 44 of the 80 considered dark patterns in SNS. We also learned about their applicability in other contexts, understanding their potential utility as, for example, regulative tools. Lastly, we identified 5 social networking service-specific dark patterns within engaging and governing strategies. And with this, I would like to conclude this presentation and thank you all very much for your attention. In case you have any questions, please find our contact details on this last slide. We are happy to answer all of your questions. Take care.